All right, guys, we are live. Welcome in. What a day to go live, too, right? With Bitcoin setting new all-time highs, but meme coins are running too. We're going to get into some meme coin conversations today on the live stream. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you all for being here. Go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you're listening over on X, give us a share over there. We're going to be joined by a new meme coin on ETH. Some of the people helping over there. Push this thing up. It has burst on the scene just in 6 short days, already over a $3 million market cap. We'll get into that. We'll have a larger conversation about meme coins today, guys, kind of how we're allocating, how we're positioning ourselves, what the market could give us here in the coming weeks and months. Should be a fun one. And let me know who's in the chat. Drop your comments in here at all times. We'll definitely get to as many of you as possible. And I will bring in some of our guests that we're going to have on the show here in a little bit. But let's get into the overall market here quickly, guys. Bitcoin crushing it. New all-time highs today. Absolutely insane. But if you look at the top gainers, what do you see? What do you see up here at the top of the top 100 cryptos? Well, I'll tell you what you see. You see a lot of meme coins. And there's a reason for that, because meme coins are volatile. Anytime we get volatility in the market, meme coins are going to run like crazy. We're seeing it happen right now. We've got WIF up 21%, Fartcoin up 15%, Brett's up 15%, the Trump meme coin almost back to $15. Pepe is running. Absolutely love Pepe's setup on Ethereum for this run. We've got obviously our big caps on ETH, right? We've got SHIB, we've got Pepe. Love Dogecoin still in this bull run too. We've got Brett, which is on the L2 base, but perhaps we need another runner, some other ones, and that could be one that's right here. This is Kabasu. So Kabasu right now, 3.24 mil market cap, small cap, not even 1,000 holders yet. Obviously, it's a different type of investment than investing in something in the billions of market cap, but a little bit can go a long way if you can find some diamonds in the rough. We're going to be joined by their team, and we'll talk about the meme coin market at large. We'll talk about what they've got cooking, and definitely want to take some questions from the crowd and just kind of interact with you guys for a little bit during the stream here today. So happy to have so many people with us. We got, look at this, Bonk, SPX, Pudgy. I mean, literally, of the cryptos that are up the most right now, 60-70% of them are meme coins, which is absolutely insane. All right. So, and I don't think this trend is going to, stop anytime soon. We got O'Brien here. What's your opinion about Dogelon going half of its all-time high? If you're talking about Dogelon Mars, I still think there's some value there. It was a last cycle meme coin for sure, but it's got the ticker Elon. So I still think it could have some legs at some point, especially if you know who starts talking about it. Obviously that would send it. Country Boys in the house. What's going on, bro? Boca G, my man, my moderator. What's happening, Boca? What's going on, bro? What's the news about Trump coin? Not really any news, man. It's just pumping with the market. It was pumping late last night too. What's up, Zach? You're a long way from hot sauce, brother. Bro, that's wild. You know me from hot sauce? That's crazy. I owned a hot sauce company way back in the day. It's kind of weird though too, bro. How'd you find me? Anyways, yeah, we're here. We're here on YouTube now. We're doing the damn thing. What's up, brother? What's up, Shane? Kendu community in the house. What's good? What's good? What's going on, everybody? What's happening? Thoughts on Mog? Yeah, Mog's another one on ETH. Saw a massive run. Here's the thing. If ETH is going to make its run, if ETH's going to do its damn thing, and it's going to, go at least to 6, 7, 8K at some point this cycle, you're going to get some meme coins that are going to run hard, right? And I think a great way to go about this is how can you fast track your Ethereum holdings? One of the best ways you could do it is get in on the top ETH runners that run on top of the blockchain, right? You got Pepe, you got SHIB, but you also got a lot of new kids on the block. And we're going to get into one of those again today on the stream, Kabasu. I'm going to leave this link in the comments, guys, the Dex Tools link if you want to check it out. The stream is sponsored by Kabasu today. A small cap on ETH, looking really strong, though, getting out of the gate nicely. And it's a little over a $3 million market cap right now. So But we'll take a look across the board at a lot of different meme coins here during the stream, and I want to bring in some guys here now from the team. And I think we've got Cole with us. We've got Leo with us. What's good, guys?
Yo, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Zach, what's up, brother?
Dude, what a day, man. Bitcoin all-time highs.
Crazy.
Freaking nuts, man. Love it.
I can't say I didn't expect it at some point, man, but today's the day.
It's wild, bro. What's your guys' take right now on the overall market? I mean, obviously, we're starting to see some capital flow back into meme coins. It's a great time, I think, to launch one. You guys are doing the damn thing right now, getting out of the gate with Kabasu. But what's your guys' take right now on the overall market?
I mean, my overall take is definitely a really positive one, I would say. I think right now with the mass adoption that's coming in, we're seeing more and more people kind of dabble in the meme coin market. Obviously, the higher caps are getting a lot of attention right now with like administrations and countries and different institutions kind of just going heavy in them. But it's good because it just gives more exposure to the meme coin market as well, which you said earlier is a volatile market, and that's where people can really have some fun and really see some life-changing moves happen, right?
100%, bro. So what do you guys got cooking up here right now with Kabasu, and kind of what's the narrative here?
So basically, KABOSU is the official Dogecoin dog, right? So everybody knows Dogecoin, and if you kind of do your research on it and dig a little bit deeper, you'd find out that the dog isn't actually just a random dog. Her name is KABOSU, and she's kind of like the dog that basically started it all. And she's got a pretty extensive history, and KABOSU is basically the token to represent her. Not only is it the token, it's kind of the official one since we own the actual domain kabosu.com. That's a very big thing for us because it kind of eliminates any kind of debate that people would have. The Dogecoin dog basically is iconic, right? So Kabosu is going to be a legend forever. I don't think Dogecoin is ever going anywhere. Like, it's basically cemented in history, and the whole thing behind Kabosu is for it to be super volatile. The way the tokenomics are set up is that it doesn't take a lot to move the needle here. We are completely stealth. Like, we just barely started doing marketing today, and we're excited to see where it goes.
The chart looks phenomenal, man. Getting out of the gate nicely. Had a great launch on the 15th, just about like 6 days ago now. Got out of the gate, made a nice little all-time high, day 3. Nice little retrace, but found your floor. I mean, chart's looking really solid. I think, a lot of this is timing too, right, Leo? Like, and right now it feels like ETH is on the verge of kind of finding its footing. We saw it go up like 20% in one day. I think it was at some point like a week ago or so. When do you think this rotation is going to happen? Obviously, Bitcoin's doing its thing, but eventually Ethereum's going to have its day, right? And I'm sure that's kind of what you guys are banking on as well. And when that happens, obviously the floodgates open for anything built on ETH.
It's hard to say when anything can happen, like the rotation wise, but what I've always learned in this space is that it's better to be prepared rather than to try to play catch up. So it's good to position yourself in a place where you kind of see that run happen and you're already in the moment of it rather than trying to like get in when the run is happening. So you kind of really want to position yourself in a way where if something does happen and you can you kind of predict it to happen, you're already there, you're invested, you're ready to go, you've already got your project primed and set up for success rather than kind of just like trying to play catch up like the rest of the market is. Because basically once liquidity starts flowing into ETH, the guys who are there already prepared and ready to go are going to be first responders, and those are the people who see the most success, right?
100%. And if you guys are interested in checking out the chart, getting some more interesting information about you know, this particular meme coin. There is a link down below in the description. I'm going to drop it over on X too, so at any time you guys can go check it out. Of course, not financial advice, but man, this looks like you could have something here. Volume looks really solid, 305,000 here in the last 24 hours. Love to see it. Still sub 1,000 holders. I'm sure you guys are probably trying to attach yourself to the Dogecoin narrative too, right? I mean, is that a big part of it?
Of course, man. Of course, it's a huge part of it, especially considering that if you look into the team's past, our past, you can very quickly connect the dots that we launched a token called Shiba Doge back in 2021, and that became pretty huge, man. I think we reached about close to a $300 million market cap at the time during the tax meta and the token tax meta that was happening back then. So, accounting for how the market is now, that was a huge success for basically ETH and for everybody involved with Shiba Doge as well. So with Kabosu, we definitely want to have a slower approach, a slower cook, a more organic buildup, which is why you're not seeing thousands of holders, which is why you're not seeing millions of ads and millions of different posts from everyone right now. We kind of want to have a more organic buildup, the same way we did with Shiba Doge, and we believe that the process is something that should be checked off, and we're trusting the process here instead of kind of just going straight to the wall and throwing everybody at it at the same time, because we definitely want to avoid that senseless pump or anything like that, right? We definitely want to build a strong base and a strong community around what we've got here.
I love it, man. I love it. I like the slow organic approach too, and let people find out about it slowly over time, kind of like that slow drip. But Cole, I want to bring you in, bro. What's happening? What are you seeing from the markets, man?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll get my camera on in a second here. Sorry, I'm just whipping up some coffee. It's been a crazy morning.
Gotcha.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, gotcha.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, one thing that, and I know you're going to be making a YouTube video on this, so I'm excited for that, Zach. But what's up, everybody here? My name's Cole, so you probably know me as Cole World on social. So I'm just working with the team, helping with some of the marketing. I've known the guys for quite some time since, I mean, Zach has as well. He's known the guys for quite some time. So they told me that they got a project going on. I wanted to come help them out. But yeah, guys, I would say, Leo, one thing I definitely want to touch on is the tokenomics, because they're really interesting. And maybe Zach, you could pull up the white paper if you just go to the KABOSU website, or not the white paper, sorry, the Medium article, and dive a little bit into the tokenomics, because I think that's what had me really interested. And I'm sure everybody in here, I just checked, and there's like 150 people in here or so. So what's up, everybody? But yeah, the thing that interests me a lot is the approach that they've taken on the tokenomics side. Because as we all know, right, Solana has been really dominating a lot of the volume, a lot of the mind share. And I think it's really changed and Zach, I'd love your opinion on this too. It's really changed the investor mindset in terms of how, hopefully you guys can see me here, in terms of, how long people have been willing to hold and kind of what they're looking for. And ETH is kind of like, the way I compared is ETH is like a long form video and Solana is like a short form video. And if we kind of look back, and Zach, you probably, realize this, if you look at last bull run, a lot more people were consuming long form content to get memes, right? Now it's like all TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So the reason I share that is because, and you guys can definitely, I highly recommend you guys read this Medium, is because what the team has actually done here is they have decided to do a very different, liquidity to market cap ratio that Leo can touch on, to kind of not only start a meta, but also kind of appeal towards that kind of change in mindset. Because I think Solana has impacted all of Web3 as a whole in terms of what investors are looking for. And ETH sometimes can move, really slow, and it can be not so exciting. And I think that's really what's interesting. And Leo, I'd love for you to kind of touch on this and share this, because I think a lot of people don't really realize this, and this is kind of what's the most interesting, in my opinion, about the project.
Yeah, definitely, man. So the way that the tokenomics are set up here is a bit different than what everyone is normally used to, and what that means is that the LP pairing has a big impact on the volatility and the way that things work. And this was done by design. The reason for this is that it doesn't take a lot to move the needle. And we think that that's kind of a very overlooked aspect, especially on ETH. And we saw why Solana saw a lot of success over the past few months is because of the the thin LP pump funds that kind of like had a lot of movement and people just getting in and out and seeing that volatility and creating a bit of excitement with that. But we definitely wanted to bring that kind of a feeling to ETH with this project as well, and especially with KABOSU and Dogecoin being the meme coin, right? The one that started it all and kind of just ripped people's faces when Dogecoin went from like literally decimals to cents, and people were going crazy over the volatility. But ETH is very important because you said something that was pretty cool, that we see Solana move a lot faster than ETH, and ETH kind of has more slower cooks and things that take a little bit more time. And I actually prefer that because one thing that people lose sight of is the people who are most patient win in most cases, right? When it comes to crypto, when it comes to stocks, when it comes to even business or anything in general in life, patience is always key, and we want to reward patience as well. So that's the whole point of kind of bringing these tokenomics to ETH, is to give a little bit of a touch of what people liked in Sol and combine it with what everybody is so used to and loves about ETH.
I really like that kind of breakdown too, because it is clear, like with the whole pump fund era, like things don't live on forever. It feels like, Solana meme coins come and go, where, the Ethereum ones have staying power. Like if you can build it up, it's built to last, right? You got SHIB, of course, and Pepe. I still look at SHIB. I mean, I know it's been quiet or whatever, but I mean, it's still a massive market cap. A lot of people said it would die on the vine. Like, you know what I mean? It would go through one bear market and that would be it. And it would be gone forever. It's not gone. I mean, it's still here. It's still right at the top of the list. I think you can say the same thing with Pepe and what Brett's doing. And so I think it's interesting. I think it's a great time to build back on ETH. So I like it. I mean, all these chains, they know the game they're playing. They have to have meme coins. It brings the volume. Even SWI, right? Like that new blockchain. But Ethereum is still the granddaddy of them all, and it's not going anywhere. They still have, massive reach and exposure, and people trust it. I think that's the biggest thing, right? People trust Ethereum more so than these other blockchains. But where do you guys think in general, man, the meme coin market's going? It's been a little quiet, but it's definitely picking back up as Bitcoin is kind of riding high. I mean, you look at some of the top gainers right now. It's a lot of meme coins up at the top. I mean, where do you think it's going? I mean, in terms of the large caps and just the general space.
So basically, like I always look at historical data and I look at what's happened in the past and make my predictions based off that. I think right now you nailed it. You said things are a little bit iffy, things are a little bit slow and kind of in the air, and the reason for that is because all the attention is on Bitcoin right now, right? And what happens, and what we've seen happen in the past is when Bitcoin finds its floor, stabilizes, and kind of people start realizing, okay, this is where it's at, and they start taking their profits. We see money starting to flow from Bitcoin into alts, and then from alts into meme coins, and that cycle basically has just been repeating itself on loop for ever since ever since I could remember. And right now, all eyes are on Bitcoin, which basically means that the start of the next meme coin cycle is kind of in the cooks, right? So once Bitcoin finds a floor, once Bitcoin stabilizes and people start kind of like taking a bit of profits out of there and moving things into the next part of the totem pole, it's just going to repeat its cycle all over again. And I think the projects that are positioned to be prepared for that to happen are the ones that are going to see the most success. So I definitely think meme coins have a huge role to play in this next cycle. I still think that the days of people becoming meme coin millionaires are still a massive opportunity in the meme coin space. Never any financial advice, and I'm not saying that this can happen with our token or any token you're invested in, but those opportunities still exist, and I see them happen basically very often with people too. So it's definitely a huge opportunity in terms of retail investors and meme coins in general, and the people, like I said, who are going to be prepared for that are the guys who are going to see the best outcomes.
Love the breakdown. Cole, you got thoughts?
No, I agree with Leo. I think all eyes are on Bitcoin right now. I mean, I think Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high. It might have broken out since we've been talking. You have it pulled up. What's Bitcoin sitting at right now?
Let's see here. 1088, but I think earlier, yeah, we got to 1097 already. So yeah, new all-time highs 29 minutes ago. Almost hit 110K. Just freaking insane.
All the attention is obviously on Bitcoin right now, but once we see, I think Bitcoin's going to break out, we're going to see a lot of money flow into alts and then into memes again. So I mean, I pretty much just agree with what Leo's saying. I think you have your memes that are already sitting over 100 mil, 200 mil that are like just solid plays, and in my opinion, those you might have been better off buying those a couple months ago, right? You have like a fart coin, you have your Pepe, things like that. But I think the space is definitely due for some new, big memes.
Yeah, and I mean, usually we see that rotation go from Bitcoin to ETH. So I mean, the fact that you guys are building on Ethereum, I think is a great decision, because we saw it happen a little bit. Just that 20% pop in one day, that showed me that, hey, ETH is going to have its day. And you got big players. I mean, obviously, World Liberty Financials, they've been stacking Ethereum like crazy. You've got the Ethereum ETFs. That's the only other ETF out there right now in the United States outside of Bitcoin. So a lot of people like to, take stabs at Ethereum because, there's new shiny objects. You got Solana, you got Sui, but to me, man, I think Ethereum is still the granddaddy of them all. I mean, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think when this rotation starts to happen, a lot of capital is going to flow into ETH. And remember, you got those ETFs. So I think you're going to have the institutional demand mixed in with that retail demand. And I still think ETH is primed. And, my big thing with investing, especially on these layer one blockchains, how can I get exposure to that layer one, but not directly exposed to the native asset? You got to find the meme coins. I mean, that's literally where you can make your bread and stack, more of that native asset. So I love it, man. I love the narrative here. I think this narrative here too has staying power. When you could just look at something in the meme coin world and say, hey, this is going to be cool for a week, or this is going to be cool for a long time. This here, I mean, it's got a household brand around it, and especially if you get some of the Dogecoin people interested in this too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then Leo, I think it'd be a good time to kind of talk about what we have planned. And I mean, also what's crazy is I didn't realize, I think this was on purpose, Leo, but I believe that the death anniversary of KABOSU is in 3 days. Was that on purpose in terms of why you guys, launched around this time?
Totally not on purpose, man. It just happened to fall into the calendar timing for the launch. But yeah, her death anniversary is coming up in the next 3 days. So we're planning an event around that to kind of like do something in her honor. But kind of to touch on Zach's point where he said that this has staying power. And I agree with you 100%. And that's the reason why we have the luxury of being able to do a slow cook on this and kind of build up organically towards it, is because, it isn't a meta that comes and goes. This is something that can, that could stick around for a very, very long time, for forever potentially. And the reason being is that Dogecoin already has created that legendary aspect of the token itself, and Kabosu is going to live on forever, and everybody is going to use that dog in terms of memes and everything else in the foreseeable future, right? Whether it's crypto or not crypto related. And even with like people like Elon and other huge influencers that talk about Dogecoin all the time, it can indirectly give exposure to the Kabosu token as well. So it's strategically set up for that. We definitely put a lot of thought into the longevity of the narrative and the name, and obviously the official website is going to be a huge help as well moving forward. But yeah, I think the future is bright, and we do have a bunch of things that we're working on in the pipeline, and we're in no rush to make any crazy decisions or anything like that. Like, we're not fighting against any kind of time. Our community is very supportive. The chart has been looking very supportive, and based on our history and based on what we were able to do with Shiba Doge, I think we're set up with the experience to be able to make something nice happen here.
Hell yeah, man. So what's your guys' take in terms of building a good meme coin? I mean, obviously the things we hear all the time, like build a good community, right? Have good whales. But like in terms of like, meme coins needing or not needing like utility, like what's your guys' take on that? And maybe what's your approach with what you guys are doing? Because you saw kind of SHIB do its thing for a while, but then it almost feels like SHIB tried to do too much when it comes to utility. And it kind of gets like convoluted, and people are like, wait a minute, I thought this was just a fun meme coin. What are we doing now? Like, we're building a metaverse. Like, what is all this? Versus like Pepe, they're just kind of chilling, right? It's like,
Exactly.
Hey, we're just doing
Exactly. Our thing. Bro, look, I think memes are timeless, and I think that's the way to go. Not to talk shit about utility, but it has its own place, and it has its own values and whatnot. But realistically, a meme can outlive a utility tenfold, and we see some projects do the hybrid model, but like I said, like sometimes in some cases, I've been sending the same meme to my friend group for 10 plus years at this point, right? Like, memes are timeless, but in terms of utility, like I could change from Venmo to Zelle, from Zelle to Cash App. Like, they don't last, man. Even the best utilities get replaced. So um, that's my take on it. That memes are timeless, and utilities are just kind of, they're great, but they will get replaced at some point. And to make a huge impact in the meme coin space and to build a good project, it's not just about like what the devs can do. It's obviously about what the collective of everybody involved, devs, community, marketing partners, everybody involved can do. But also on top of all that, it's a numbers game, and what I mean by that is you get out what you put in, and as long as the people involved are grinding every day and have a vision to kind of make things succeed, you just have a higher chance and a higher the probability of things going the right way.
100%.
Yeah, and I think I feel the same. It's like, I think most of the memes, it's like it starts off like the utility is like the community. Like, let's be honest, it's a meme, right? But I think as like Bonk, for example, right? Like, Bonk was just a meme when it first started. Now they've been around for a while, right? But they have like Bonk Swap. They have like the bot inside TG. They have their platform. You can launch tokens. So I think all the utility like comes later. But in the beginning, it's just like a meme. I think if you launch a meme and then you try and have too much utility, there's like stages of it, right? So I think right now, anything under, 50 or $100 million market cap is really just based off of community and people believing in the meme and wanting to be part of the community.
100%. I mean, another thing I wanted to bring up, guys, is like, we haven't seen really like that huge retail kind of like demand for crypto yet. And we know retail loves meme coins. Like we saw in 2021. Obviously, like we've kind of hit on this. Like, it's been a Bitcoin driven market. The institutions are here. Obviously, they're investing heavily into Bitcoin. What do you think it's going to take to get retail back? And some of it has to do with inflation and kind of where we're coming from, the macro and all that. But like, we're going to have this next big wave, right? And we know what they're going to be interested in. They're going to come right back into meme coins. It's that path of least resistance. But like, when do you guys think we see it? I know we're trying to predict the future a little bit, but is it late this year? Is it early next? Like, when's that next blow off top? And obviously, you guys are looking to be there to take advantage of it and have a big footprint in it.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I think things come and go in waves. And what I've noticed with retail is they chase green candles, man, and that's how you see a massive influx of retail investors flowing into the market. Normally, like, when you look at like what people like Warren Buffett or other like super like well-known investors say. They always say like, oh, buy when the market's red, buy the dips and this and that, right? Like that's what these guys normally say. But I don't know if that like really strikes a chord with people in crypto, because the opposite is what I've observed, right? Like you see people flowing in like crazy when the market's moving in the northern direction, and you see green candles, and that's when you see them, most amount of retail flowing in. So I think with the next meme coin cycle that comes in, and the dominance from BTC starts shifting towards alts, is when we're going to start seeing a lot of retail kind of come in. Because right now, what's happening is Bitcoin is the spotlight, right? So everybody and their mom is learning about crypto all around the world, and they're primarily learning about Bitcoin. But then they also have that one friend in the friend group that's like, yo, like, I don't know about Bitcoin, but I just made like 100K off this random meme coin, and then they infect everybody else that's in that group, and they're like, wait, you made 100K doing what? And then boom, you just start seeing that same that same kind of like effect happen throughout the entire market. So it's all part of the same cycle, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, like we saw it a little bit with like Trump's meme coin, which I mean, we can argue what was that good or bad. I mean, it brought a bunch of people in, but I think a lot of people are kind of left there sitting saying, wait a minute, what the hell just happened, right? But hopefully we have like a more organic kind of like entrance into the market. That's what I'm hoping for. And I do think more and more people are kind of seeing the bigger picture, right? Because if you really want to win in crypto, and you guys know this, you guys have been around multiple cycles, you got to go through it. Like you got to be able to like stay afloat and stay alive through the down times, right? And be able to kind of like stay in the game. If you try to catch the wave, every time it goes up, you're always a little late, right? So hopefully people are watching this. I mean, talk to people, man. Let people know, like, get in the game, because we haven't seen the big bull run yet. We haven't seen the altcoin season. We haven't seen the meme coin season yet.
Yeah.
I feel like it's coming, man.
Yep. No, I totally agree.
Let's see if we got anything from the chat. Guys, if you got questions, drop them in the chat. We do got a bunch of people listening on YouTube and X. Shout out to everybody who's out there listening. We'd love to take some questions. So if you guys got questions for the team, let us know. There is a link in the description of the YouTube video. You guys can check out the chart. I dropped it over on X too, underneath the live stream. So if you're watching on X, go take a look. But definitely love to get some questions rolling in from the chat as well. But man, here's the other thing I think with meme coins that I've learned, guys, is can you get out of like that initial like 2, 3, 4 month phase, right? Like, and I think that's the biggest test. So back to your guys' thing that you were talking about earlier, like kind of this slow cook, slow grind. What's like, do you guys have in your head like, hey, we'd like to reach X market cap by this time? Like, how do you kind of think about it, like in terms of your approach as a dev? Like, what kind of milestones are you looking at here, like these next like 2, 3 months?
What I've learned like over the past few years of being a guy in the space that runs communities and builds projects and puts things out is once you start like setting market cap goals for yourself, you're always going to be disappointed. The way that we structure our goals are a little bit different. We like to reach different types of milestones, and whether those are community based or whether those are um, uh, achievement based, where I could say like, hey, we want to be on this platform, that platform, and etc. That's a better way to structure your success, because the way I look at it is the same way I look at life, right? Like the more successful you are in the choices that you make, the more money you will make. So I look at everything like a video game, right? The better you perform in what you do, the more points you get. And in life, the better you do in life, the more money you get, which is basically kind of like your points that you would accumulate in the video game. So I bring that same methodology to the meme coin market and communities and everything else. As long as you play the game right and you perform well, you're going to accumulate points. And in life, that being money, and in meme coins, that being market cap, and in your case as influencer, the better you perform, the more following you get, right? So everything in life I treat as a video game. because, you know, the better you do at the game that you play, the more points you accumulate, and that's, you know, it's kind of like a given. So in terms of market cap, I would want it to be at the highest it could possibly be, right? Obviously, like everybody involved would want that, whether you're on the team or whether you're an investor or whatever. But it would be impossible for me to kind of predict that, and I wouldn't want to be the guy to say like, hey, we're going to reach X amount, and that, you know, that not happening and people being crushed by that and saying like, hey, Leo said we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So it's meme coins, man. Everything is unpredictable. Things can change overnight, sentiment can change overnight, and, you know, people's faces can get melted with movement. So that's the beautiful part about, you know, meme coins.
Yeah, I was kind of going to ask you, Leo, is it more about like, hey, is the Telegram growing? Is our holder base growing? Is our X growing? Like those kind of metrics, right? Because that all leads to obviously buy pressure, which is what you want. But like you got to have like the community growing and moving in the right direction.
100%. It's a combination of all of that and some. So, you know, there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes in terms of like, you know, teams talking to other types of people that can help bring exposure, reaching out to exchanges, reaching out to all kinds of people in the background that make, you know, things happen on different platforms and whatnot. So it's a combination of everything. You know, your community, your Telegram, your Twitter, your the way you manage everybody in there, and you know, the moves that you decide to make in the background with different people you decide to partner with and on board. So yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, but, you know, we've definitely got the experience and the team to be able to navigate that.
Love it, man. Charts looking healthy, man. I mean, honestly, just a little over 3 million market cap right now, guys. 763 holders. Leo or Cole, either one of you guys, what's your take on centralized exchanges? Because this has really changed too from back when I got into crypto heavily in 2020. You know, it used to be like, you know, when listing, you know, when this, when that. But I'm hearing different opinions on this now. Like a lot of people say, hey, just, you know, maybe you don't need exchanges or you need the right exchanges, right? Like what?
That's the key. That's the
What's
key
your take?
word, man.
Yeah.
The right exchanges are the key, but also, yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that centralized exchanges are they're not what they used to be back in the, you know, the last cycle. Before you would announce a listing and you'd reach an all-time high. Now it's like you announce a listing and your token dips in some cases because people are like, oh, like the exchange is gonna use you as exit liquidity or whatever. But it's hard to say. Like there's no proven kind of concept about what happens with centralized exchanges. I don't think that anything is proven and everything is kind of just up in the air. But I personally still believe that they're important. The reason why Pepe and Shiba and Doge are even a thing still to this day isn't only because of the retail. It's because centralized exchanges adopted it and are like, yo, I want to use this to report on my balance sheets every quarter to show like, hey, I have X amount of billions of dollars of Shiba, and they support that because, you know, when they do their financial reports every quarter, it inflates their numbers and it makes them look better. So, you know, they're doing something to kind of help maintain those tokens as well. But yeah, dude, at the end of the day, if you look at the holder base of Shiba, like you could see, like it's probably mainly institutionally owned at this point. A bunch of exchanges own it, and they're the ones who kind of like run market making on it, and a lot of the volume probably comes from them anyway. But I feel like, you know, when you become big enough, that's just how things go, and that's just how things are going to start operating. So I still believe in centralized exchanges. I think there's a massive amount of people, you know, internationally that use use exchanges. So I'm not going to talk shit about them because I do still think they are important. They're just not where they need to be right now, and you know, with some adjustments and with the way that you know, they decide to kind of move forward with the meme coin market is going to be crucial if, you know, they become viable again or not.
I feel that. Cole, you got thoughts?
No, I feel the same. I think really what exchanges are great for is like you need the core community on like you need the core community before the exchanges, right? Like for me, I like to trade like decentralized, right? And let's be honest, like most people like to trade decentralized because it's always a hassle to trade through exchanges. But I think exchanges are really powerful for when you have the core community, and then you want to onboard retail to really build up that core, that like cult-like community. Those people that don't know how to use, you know, Phantom Wallet or MetaMask, right? Which is 99% of people. You know, it's like for those people that just want to buy on an exchange, it's safe, right? It feels safe. And they want to buy 20 bucks of this meme coin because they saw it somewhere. That's what I think it's really good for, its scale. But, you know, we're seeing a lot of these tokens not even be listed on exchanges, especially on Solana, which is a whole nother conversation, that are just absolutely sending. And then exchanges just pick them up. And I think that's what's something that's interesting that we're seeing too, is that, especially, I guess this is more on Solana, you know, I haven't noticed this much on ETH, but a lot of these exchanges, because there's so much volume on Solana, for example, and I would assume as we see volume come back into ETH, they'll probably take this up. But something different we've seen is that exchanges are just auto listing tokens because they understand the opportunity cost of them just waiting for the team to pay them, or whoever it is, if it's a CTO, whatever. They're like, we'll just bite the bullet, we'll eat our costs on the listing so that we can just get the volume and make the money off the token. So I think that's something we're seeing a lot more. Obviously not always the big exchanges, right? Like your tier ones, but your lower tier ones and your tier twos, we're seeing a lot more like organic listings, because these exchanges are now like, okay, well, we can go and spend a week negotiating with this team, or you could just list the token, because we're losing money by not, you know, having them on our exchange. And because exchanges just get paid a percentage off of volume, right? So if they can just list the token and they can see themselves being profitable, we're seeing that a lot more. So I think that's something we're going to see a lot more of in this next leg up, because there's going to be bigger memes, right? There has to be more memes and more tokens, not just memes, but alts and utility tokens as well. We're seeing that happen a lot more, which I think is really interesting, because if you go back to last bull run, right, like the listing process was super extensive, right? Like I'm talking, you know, you have to completely docs as a dev, right? All these things are happening. Now we're seeing tokens just get listed, right? And there's not even a conversation with the team, because these guys are like, okay, well, we need to capitalize on this opportunity. So I think the exchange game has definitely changed. And I agree with Leo. You know, if you look back, like once again to like last bull run, if you got like a Gate.io listing, or you got, you know, like an MXC listing, like you're automatically going to pump like 2-3x. Now it's like, it's not the same effect, right? Like you need like a Binance listing or like a Coinbase listing if you want to actually send, you know, and get those X's. So I think it's just a medium for people to trade on at the end of the day. That's originally what it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to like pump the token like crazy. It was just supposed to be another means of onboarding, right? So I kind of prefer it that way. Otherwise you get these like unsustainable pumps and people front running, you know, exchange listings, and it just messes up everything. So I kind of like how they have it running now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Like back in the day, like you almost needed the exchange listing to go from 10 mil to 100 mil. Now, like you look up and you're like, how the hell is this meme coin at 300 mil and I didn't see it? Like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
And the exchanges are like listing it out of nowhere. It's like, oh, it's listed on Binance already. Like, damn, like it was like 3 days ago. You know what I mean? Whatever. It is nuts. So, hey, here's the hoping that kind of thing happens with this token right here. Before we wrap things up, guys, any kind of like final words, and I will have a video out, guys, breaking everything down. There is links down below. Check out. I just dropped a X post as well. But any kind of final thoughts, Leo? If you want to jump in first, bro.
Yeah, bro. In terms of like final thoughts, I would say that they're starting thoughts. You know, like we're just getting things rolling. We're just getting things started. So I'm just super excited to see where the meme coin market goes in general this cycle. I'm also very excited to kind of be behind the scenes, you know, running a community and you know, leading a project in the space again as well. It definitely brings a lot of butterflies in your stomach, knowing like, you know, what you're able to kind of achieve and be able to change people's perspective and change people's outlook on crypto by doing right by people in the space. I know there's a lot of people that launch meme coins and they're here today, gone tomorrow type of deal. Obviously, with our team, that doesn't exist, and KABOSU being a legendary figure in the space, I see a lot of potential of growth moving forward in terms of adoption of the brand and adoption of the name. So I'm excited to see, you know, how hard we can scale the brand and how hard we can scale the narrative of KABOSU and kind of, you know, bring a little bit more exposure to to Dogecoin as well, because Dogecoin is what started it for us back in the day. You know, we are OG Dogecoin investors, and you know, Dogecoin changed our lives as a team, and basically gave us financial freedom. And you know, this is kind of like in honor of Dogecoin, the same way how Shiba Doge was in honor of Shiba and Doge. And Kabosu really is going to be the main moving factor of kind of putting Kabosu and Dogecoin on chain. Not saying we're Dogecoin at all. Like, I'm not saying we're even affiliated with Dogecoin, but this is to give tribute and to honor the history of Kabosu and basically the meme coin that started it all. So it's all about history. It's all about a good narrative. It's all about a narrative that could stick. And you know, I think we're in for a wild ride with what we're going to be seeing here in the market soon.
Love it, bro. Appreciate the breakdown. Thanks for joining. Cole, I'll give you some final thoughts, man.
No, man. I just think I think we're all used to things just absolutely running right away. And, you know, that's why we've all been so attracted to Solana. But I'm super excited to be working on this with the team on ETH and taking it slow. And, you know, normally how ETH works is it trades sideways, you get some movement, and then it starts sending. I mean, I know, you know, Zach, you've been part of a lot of OG memes like early on, and you've seen how these things go. So it's just a matter of time for us. We're just going to keep working on building the community as we are. You know, the X is growing super fast. The TG is growing super fast. Like, the engagement has like tripled since the last 2 days. So things are looking really good. And yeah, we're just going to keep working and keep building up the community. You know, and as we go on, we're happy to have you on board and dropping updates. Yeah, and it's super exciting stuff.
Love it, man. Appreciate you guys. I will have a full video out too. So definitely go check out the team, hop in the TG, get acclimated with the community. And here's to hoping, man, this is like the next big, huge ETH runner. We look up one day, 100 million to $1 billion. That would be insane, right? I've seen it happen before, man. I've been a part of some teams like very, very similar to where we are now, like 3-4 mil market cap. And next thing you know, bro, it's gone. So Leo, Cole, appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening in on YouTube, X. And again, I'll have that video posted later for you guys to check out as well. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thanks, Zach.
All
Peace,
right.
guys.